during this tech rehearsal is the fourth stage of shooting a scene, and that's called tweaking it. Well, that's making final small adjustments to the camera, to the lighting, to the sets, and to the performances.
After we do that rehearsal with first team, it's like a last-minute dash to get all the little details ready that everybody wants to get ready. What is happening with the actors if we've called for last looks or final touches, however you want to put it. So they're off at the side getting buffed and puffed. And while that's happening, the DP is tweaking lights, the camera operator is going through the moves again, specifically so the first AC can check focus. He'll run the tape out to each mark that the actor is supposed to hit and double check, because the marks may have been revised on that last rehearsal, double check that the shot's going to be in focus. And that's my time also then to talk to the actors about any acting adjustments that I want to give them before we start rolling.
In most instances, now that your talent has come out of hair, makeup, and wardrobe, and they're on set and they're standing there, often, not all the time. There's a lot of things you can see with stand-ins, but you can't follow everything. You'll spot something on an actor or an actress that you didn't see before, and more often than not, there's a little bit of room for tweaking. And as long as it's not too dramatic, you don't want to change out the entire key or flop the key to the other side at that point, and that becomes a little bit dramatic. But there's things you can fix with the actor and actress on set with a minimum of drama.
When we're at the tweak stage, if you get a tweak stage, I'm looking for last-minute things that might have crept in while other discussions were happening. Everyone does their best to try to be aware of other departments and what they have to know. If I'm working with my camera crew on, for instance, on focus, I'm discussing where the focus should be and what steps to take to make sure this actor's in focus at various points with my first assistant in terms of length of time or where or how my first assistant is doing on following focus if we have a lot of complicated moves in and far, near and far, and far and near. While I'm busy doing that, and I've checked the frame several times, and we said that frame is really good back at step one or a couple steps ago, selecting the frame, the director of photography has said, you know, I think we need a little light here on the side of this actor's face. And he tells the lighting crew to bring in a light. Well, I'm working with the director of photography, and I'm seeing what he's doing, but now I'm working with the first assistant talking about focus. And while I'm having this discussion, this light has been brought in. And they go, oh, that looks good, that's good. And I look at we're about to shoot, and I'll check that frame one more, and all of a sudden that light will be there. And it's important for me to make sure that the shot is still going to work with that light there, that the light is not infringing on anything that we've already set up. And so the camera operator has to be paying attention to several things at once. Not only am I, so that doesn't happen, while I'm discussing the focus with the first assistant, I'm making sure that no one is moving a light into my frame at the same time. Or that something else is changing, that the set dresser has brought in a picture and said, oh, this picture goes here on this scene. I didn't know that. Well, that's not what we saw 20 minutes ago. And it's a different color. It's kind of different. I have to make sure that nothing changes at the last minute that's going to adversely affect the photography.
Usually that last minute thing while they're having last looks, if I want to say anything to the actors, is about a specific moment.
This is the phone call you've been dreading. And it's setting off and it's triggering 1,000 different thoughts. Is your husband dead? Is somebody calling they found your husband's body? Is it the captors saying they're going to kill him? Are they going to torture him? And these are all the things that I think are going through your mind the second that phone rings.
It's a little unfair of me at that point. We haven't rolled, they haven't really focused. So it's unfair of me to give them an acting note unless I feel like, oh, this is going to be a wasted take, unless I give it to them now. Usually it's just a slight adjustment or remember this that has to do with maybe the past or where they've just come from or whatever, their physicality, whatever it is. I just give them a little tweak or a little pat on the back. And then after the first take, which is where the actors really have focused and paid attention to what they're doing, then I can really give them more acting adjustments after that.
You know, so there's a million little background elements that should be tweaked. You know, if one actor is too high or too low, maybe they need a little cushion under their seat. If, you know, anything that's out of frame is fair game. If a little table is so low, this is real common, where, you know, like there's just something poking into the bottom of the frame and you can't really tell what it is, it's just like barely in, well, that's awkward. And you know, the camera operator has to sort of be able to step back and look at this frame and say, well, this is unbeautiful. Now we can put an apple box underneath this thing, and of course the key grips and the grip department in general are, you know, keeping an eye on the camera operator. Whatever the camera operator needs, they're going to get it right away. So so you're raising up tables, you're lowering down people, you're moving artwork around on the walls, you're filling in blanks. The blank wall is like everyone's nemesis. The blank wall is just it's like dead air. It's it's negative space that the most people are going to respond to as we got to do something with that. So you're asking the art department, asking the on-set dresser, can you find me something for that wall? Can we use this over here? We're never going to see this over here.
So there's a whole lot of scramble, 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 and then everything kind of just sort of peters out. The actors go to their marks. The first assistant director says, okay, roll it. Off we go.
All right, thanks for watching this preview video. Now please like and subscribe to our channel to keep up with the latest filmmaking techniques. Now to see the rest of this video, be sure to visit filmskills.com, where you can read industry-leading blogs, interact with filmmakers around the world, download hundreds of forums, and unlock thousands of tips, tricks, and techniques. So from all of us here at FilmSkills, go out, make great movies, and do it safely.